What's the song?
Blue Bayou by Roy Orbison.
Blue Bayou? I didn't do it.
You didn't do it? That's it then.
That was Buddy Harman.
Okay, here we go. So, this question's from Level 42's original drummer Phil Gould from the UK. And his question is regarding Bridge Over Troubled Water and the Boxer. Was that snare sound really the result of placing the kit in the lift shaft of the Brill building, and how was it achieved?
Well, first of all, the Brill building was not involved whatsoever. There are so many stories about that, what you call the lift.
Yeah, the elevator shaft.
The elevator shaft. Roy Halley, one of the super engineers of the world that worked for Paul Simon and Artie Garfunkel, and my dear friend Mort Lewis, who was the manager, to this day is one of my dear friends. When we did, I think we did the Boxer before we did Bridge Over Troubled Water. And in the Boxer, one of the nice things about working for Paul and Artie and Roy Halley was that anything that I felt or thought creatively that I wanted to do, they would say, do it. By then, you know, you had all the tracks in the world on the tape machines. You try anything you like. And generally, thank goodness, they liked what I would come up with. And so with the Boxer, I'm just a poor boy, doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. And I got a thing going with my conga drums in my hand, quietly with a mallet. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep. It's just a background thing that goes, and it just creates this great sound. And then we come to the part, la-di-da, ba-ba-da-da-da. Well, we actually were in the CBS, the Columbia building in New York City. And they have a little studio up on the top floor, I think it was the 6th floor. And Roy Halley was a guy who looked for sounds before he ever started a session. He walked around all over the studio, clapping, till he heard a natural echo sound. Whatever it was he heard, he would say, put the Neumann 37 here, or whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's where he put the microphones. And they would set up the drums. In this case, I wanted to do these overdubs. La-di-da, explosions. So I had 2 major floor toms. And Roy Halley, you'd have to understand this, was like a half circle, half moon that went from the booth right down on I don't know what the angle was, but right down to a small lobby.
Okay.
Where there was elevator, the top floor. And Roy was walking around and he found right in front of the elevator doors the perfect place for these tom-toms. So he said, let's set up the overdub here. Now here's the picture. It was a Sunday afternoon. Nobody's in the building. And I'm wearing a headset, of course. The whole line is running up this long walk into the booth. And I'm listening. I could hear them perfectly. La-di-da. I mean, I'm exploding these drums. It was a magnificent sound. Well, at one point, in perfect synchronization, as I'm coming down on the drums, the elevator door opens, and there's an elderly gentleman, a security hat, police. And I guess he thought, and he was in New York, could happen, I guess he thought he'd get shot. Because I went, he had no idea. All he knew was he was hearing something going on. He didn't know who was in the building.
Yeah.
He was just checking. The door opened. The door, he had a look of murder. The door closed, we never saw him again. It was the most incredible thing. Well, for years, people have asked me, how did you get your drums down in the shaft of the elevator? How did you possibly get yourself down into did you have to go down into the bowels of the, so many stories came out of that. It was really very simple.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I was there, so help me, I saw it happen.
Brilliant. There you go. There's your question answered.
Now, bridge over troubled water.
Ah, okay.
Now, we did that in LA, and as I'm listening to playbacks, well, before even that, when Paul sang me the song, I was getting the picture of a slave in irons. That was the boxer. Bridge over troubled, yeah. I'm trying to remember the opening. Anyway, the picture that went into my head was a black slave on a chain gang.
Okay.
And I was thinking chains. So that was in the back of my mind. Well, we did the song, came out beautiful. Same kind of major ending that was happening. So I said, let me do an overdub here. And in LA, we were in this magnificent CBS studio, gigantic studio. And I ran out to my car in the parking lot, and I got the tire chains that I had,
okay.
that many people carry in case they go up in the mountains when it's snowing.
Yep.
And so I brought the chains in, they had never been used on the car, and I explained to Roy that I wanted to do smashes on 2 and 4.
Right.
So that I could drag, smash, drag, smash.
Wow, okay.
Like a bridge over.
Excellent.
And so Roy walked around and he found an old microphone room. It was all concrete. And he said, put a mic here. That's where they put a mic. They got me a pillow for my knees. And I got down on my knees. And I had this long set of tire chains. You know, it goes on a big tire. So here we were doing it like a slide over. And it didn't take a lot of takes, but what I was, in that position that I was in, I could hardly move.
Really?
After we finished it. It was tough.
Yeah.
But it was such an amazing big sound. And that was the impotence. I just had that feeling. And it wasn't too long after that I heard Paul on an interview. Someone asked him about the song. And Paul said, you know, I had this strange feeling about someone in a chain gang. Great.